Alright, 16.2 quadratic equations, completing the square, adding to our arsenal of factoring. Let's kind of just scroll on down here and kind of see what we got going on. Okay, solving a quadratic by completing the square. Alright, to solve ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 by completing the square. If a cannot be 1, divide both sides of the equation by a. Basically saying if this part right here, let me kind of pull up my pen here. Okay, this right here, whenever we start looking at the formula, and don't stress, we're going to go through an example. If that's not a 1, just divide it out. Okay, we want to rewrite the equation so that the constant term is alone. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy here, okay, and we're going to move it over to this side. Okay, square half the coefficient of x and add this square to both sides of the equation. Factor the resulting trinomial as a perfect square and combine like terms on the other side. Use the square root property to complete the solution. Okay, the rest of that we'll just go through in the examples. Okay, let's do one real quick here. Alright, first off we got to look at it and go, is it in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0? Okay, yes it is. We've got everything in order here. Okay, we have a, we have b, we have c. Notice, okay, let's go and just write this out. Let's be very intentional. Okay, we're going to look at step 1. Okay. Step 1, make sure the a is a 1. Okay, is it? Yes, because the coefficient for this x squared is a 1. So that is a check. Okay. Step 2. Okay, we're going to move the constant c to the other side. Okay, move the constant, there, c to the other side. Okay, that's going to look like this. We are going to take this, I'll write it this way. We're going to have x squared plus 2x plus 16 equals 0. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. Here it is going to cancel out, and then we're going to be left with a new equation that is going to look like this. X squared plus 2x equals negative 16. Okay, so far so good. Here's the part that's going to get just a little bit weird. Okay, step 3. We're going to divide b by 2. Basically, we're going to cut it in half. Okay, we're going to divide it by half. So, step 3. Divide b by 2. Okay, then, okay, we're going to square it. So then, we're going to have whatever you figure out this way, and we're going to do that to it. So look, my b in this case right here, I'm trying to be very intentional, I'm a little bit less wordy. There's my b. I'm going to divide b by 2. Okay, so here we can say 2 divided by 2 equals 1. Well, that 1, I'm then going to square it. Okay, which of course in this case is going to equal 1. Okay, that is one of the big things you want to watch out for when completing the square. Make sure that whatever you're going to divide by 2, it's going to divide nicely. Trust me, that's something to kind of look out for. 1, can you divide this out? Can you divide the a out and get clean numbers? And then even after that, can your b be divided by 2 and make it nice and clean? Notice dividing by 2 made this thing a 1. It divides out, it cuts in half very nicely. Okay, now what we're going to do is step 4. Okay, step 4. Okay, add the number. Okay, from step 3 to both sides. Okay, how's this going to look? It's going to make the equation look like this. Let me go and write it in green again. We're going to take this 1, okay, and add to both sides. Okay, so we now have an equation that looks like this. We have x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals negative 16 plus 1, which gives us an equation that looks like this. X squared plus 2x plus 1 equals, okay, negative 15. Notice that whenever, negative 15, okay, notice we now have a perfect square trinomial, okay, which can be put in the form of a plus b squared. Let's see here, I'll go ahead and write this out. Okay, a perfect square, put it in here, trinomial, okay, which can look like either a plus b squared or a minus b squared. This one, of course, is going to be a plus b because look, we have a plus there. Okay, so here we're just going to use the square root method. Watch what I'm going to do here. Because we have a plus b squared, I can rewrite this equation as, okay, let's do it in black. Step 5, square root method. Okay, our equation right now looks like this. Okay, we have this one right here because we have this and we have this, and so we actually have x plus 1 squared equals negative 15. Well, we square this side and we square this side. Notice I've got a negative on the inside here. We know what happens with negatives. So continuing on, this removes the square root. Okay, so now we have x plus 1 equals, okay, the square root of 15i. Okay, notice also, because I did the square root, I have to do the plus or minus in here. Okay, I can go and add it here too if we need to. Okay, well, I will subtract 1 from both sides, which will give me a final answer, which will look like this. X equals, notice I put the negative 1 over here, negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 15i. And so this right here would be our final answer. Okay? And that is how you complete the square. And well, like I said, we're going to go over a few more examples in class. It'll be something you can do. Whenever you can do it, it makes something really quick. It is very helpful a lot. But we'll be moving on to something else that I think is a little bit more tricky, but I think it helps out a lot more. So.